Is that a good sign? Or
you're good.
I'm good?
Should be good.
Okay. I think it did. The quality of the hearing did just shift. I use my hearing aids as my speakers. I'm telling you. I know, ain't technology grand? It's incredible. Right? So anyway, hello out in Facebook Live Land. I'm Jessica Lewis once again, and the name of my company is Sculpt Your Life, and we are here at the Cancer Support Community in Newcastle County on Lancaster Pike. I want to say Avenue because I'm used to Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. But anyway, we are here every week on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. We may be changing the time at some point, but maybe not for another couple of months, to do some Tai Chi Cha. And what is Tai Chi Cha, you might be thinking? I've heard of Tai Chi, but what is Tai Chi Cha? So, first off, first thing I want to say is, Tai Chi is really becoming an umbrella term. What a lot of people don't realize when they hear and then repeat the phrase Tai Chi is that they might just be using a nickname, because the full name of most Tai Chi practices out there is Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi means supreme ultimate, and Chuan means fist. So you can tell right off the bat that most Tai Chi practices out there are at least a soft martial art, right? They're very slow and very meditative, right? But they are at least a soft martial art. But Tai Chi Cha, on the other hand, I'm wearing a shirt that has the logo on it. Cha is the third word. It's spelled C-H-I-H. It's pronounced Cha, like chuck wagon. In all the ancient languages, the modifier comes after the noun. So remember, if Tai Chi means supreme ultimate, the Cha word means knowledge of. So that you can tell right off the bat that Tai Chi Cha is not even a soft martial art. In fact, it's been qualified by some of our leading medical authorities as nothing other than an evidence-based moving mindfulness practice. So that's what we're up to here, because I bet a lot of you out there have heard that mindfulness is good for you, right? That's sort of common knowledge anymore. You almost have to have your head under a rock for the last 20 years to not know that mindfulness is good for you. But I don't know about you, but every time, like for the bulk of my life, until I discovered Tai Chi Cha, actually, that was sort of a game changer for me, that I would sit down with the intention to empty my mind. It was as if I was giving the monkey that normally lives in my mind permission to run even more amok than he normally does. And the exact opposite effect of what I was hoping to achieve would happen. So for a lot of people, they prefer to be moving when they do some sort of mindfulness practice. And that's the real benefit of Tai Chi Cha right there. There's a lot of other physical, mental, even spiritual benefits of practicing Tai Chi Cha on a regular basis. Even only 15 or 20 minutes a day can make a really profound difference in your life. But the bottom line, most basic benefit is that you're basically doing mindfulness when you're doing it, in addition to doing something that feels and looks a lot like any old Tai Chi practice you've ever seen. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a couple of people live in the room. If you are a cancer survivor, or as I like to say, thriver, or a cancer caregiver, and you'd like to be here live every week, you certainly are entitled to do that for free. All you need to do is reach out to either the program director or the assistant program director here at the Cancer Support Community. They will help you be here. But of course, pretty much every other week, like every first and third week, I'm here on the live stream. So you can always be here that way instead, if you prefer. So, since the people who are in the room are familiar with the practice, I'm going to conduct the practice today as if the whole room is full of people who know what they're doing. But y'all out there who don't know what you're doing, you don't need to worry, because first off, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha. So even if you just ask your body to do some reasonable facsimile of what you're watching me do, that's going to be more than good enough, okay? The second thing I want you to know is the best way to do Tai Chi Cha is with the effort of no effort at all, which I know sounds downright un-American. So even if you're worried about, am I doing this right? That's a lot of work, and I don't want you to even use that much effort, okay? So the third thing I want you to know is the best way to get to that whole effortless effort thing is to just move as smoothly and softly and continuously, and at least one body part moving in kind of a circle. Those are the easiest paths towards moving in a completely effortless way. So as long as you're doing that, you're going to be fine. Okay? All right. So why don't we start at the beginning and go right through? We have plenty of time. Okay? So when I'm facing either you guys or these folks, I'm going to be mirroring. So if I move this leg, even though it is my right leg, you might want to move your left. If I turn sideways, though, I'm not going to mirror. And if I turn all the way back around, so that we're all going the same direction, I'm not going to mirror them either. Okay? So hopefully that will make sense. First thing we're going to do is get grounded and sort of get our head where our feet are. In other words, get very, very present. So put your heels a little closer than your toes and let your tailbone kind of drop and tuck a little bit. And then drop your attention to the soles of your feet. With your tailbone in this position, probably the whole of each of your feet are really pushing down into the floor. So I want you to really feel the sensations of the whole of each foot pushing down to the floor right now. And you're also getting very, very present when you're doing all this. And now, you know what? I already asked you to drop the attention to the soles of the feet, so let's go ahead and try to leave your attention there while I use my singing bowl here. So I'm going to ring the bell. And your whole job until I ring it again is just to think about or mentally look at the soles of your feet touching the floor. And if your mind wanders, that's fine, because that's what human minds do. Don't judge yourself. And here we go. Go ahead and bring your attention back to the room, or at least back to me. And if your eyes were closed, now would be a good time to open them. Gosh, when I was thinking about my feet just now, the one thing I noticed is my body is constantly kind of moving. Like, you know how they say they build a little sway into all the big buildings now so that in a hurricane it won't fall over, right? But the soles of my feet are constantly adjusting. The body's such a complex ecosystem. It's always trying to make everything easier, you know? So here we are resting, and we're going to start by doing rocking motion. So we're just stepping out a little bit with the left foot, and we're going to let the weight in the soles of the feet shift to the back of the feet and shift to the front of the feet. That's all we're doing. Do you ever drive over one of the big bridges? Like, you can really feel it on Commodore Barry. Not as much on Delaware Memorial, because it's a really big bridge. But you can feel it on the Benjamin Franklin, too. You can feel the bridge moving. Even when you're in a moving car, you can still feel it moving. And the body is always very busy. But we're always already trying to find the path of least resistance. All the body systems are always doing that. So that's one reason why Tai Chi is so relevant, because it's got so many healing properties to it. And the harder you work, the less healing you can expect to happen. So if you can really find the path of least resistance when you're doing each one of these moves, the higher the likelihood you're going to get a really big bang for your buck. Now, I'll say this for our newbies that might be joining us today. The suggested order of the practice has only 20 movements in it. And there is a suggestion that we do each movement in some combination that usually adds up to 9. Sometimes we'll do 9 with one foot out and 9 with the other. And there, of course, there's exceptions to that rule. But I always do a lot more than 9 rocking motions because it's the warm-up move. So you almost can't do too much of it. But I don't want my people here to get sick of it. So let's do 3 more. That's 1. 2. Now the third one, we're going to go forward, but we're going to kind of go back the direction we came from, which in this case was the right. And feel the body resting. Good. And let's do bird flaps and swings. I'm going to turn a little sideways to everybody. I'm going to put the hands kind of close together, not quite touching, but very close. Right in front of what we say in Tai Chi chest seat is the Dantian, which is sort of our energetic heart mind. It's a big ball of energy and it kind of sits in the middle of the pelvis. Okay? I'm going to put our hands right in front of it. Now, let your feet feel like you're pushing the fronts of your feet down into moss or mud. Okay? So the weight is just going to drop down and you're going to feel the front of your feet just sinking in. Nice. And the hands are just going to gently move away from the body and gently move back. And then just trace a little circle in the air. That's it. Let's do 2 more sets like that. Nice. And if you can, just let your eyes focus on something at eye level in the distance. It'll help you stay very upright and very balanced in a very easy way. That's it. And feel your body at rest. Nice. Nice. Now let's do around the platter with the left foot out. So we're going to let all the weight from the left leg shift and drop down into the right. Yeah, so when the right leg feels as full as it can get and kind of bendy, you're going to just lengthen your empty left knee and put your hands in the back of the invisible turkey platter out in front of your body, and then here we go. And when you're all the way in the back, your hands are at 6 o'clock if you were looking down on clock face. So when you're as far forward as you're going to get, your hands are at 12. Nice. Let's do one more. And it's funny, I'm really paying attention to the soles of my feet today, partly because I said I would, but partly because I took my shoes off and it's humid as hell. And my feet are actually sticking to the floor. But it's good. I'm learning something about the way my weight is shifting today that I normally don't have awareness of. There's a microscopic time lapse between the moment that the rear knee straightens completely and the rear heel comes off the floor. And then there's a tiny little lapse between when the front knee straightens and the front toe comes off the floor. Let's do one more rep on this side. And I can feel it on my feet today better than usual because my feet are sticking to the floor. Let's do a round the platter variation with the left foot out first. Yeah, good catch. And here we go. So there's a little variation, and then it drops off. So feel your feet not wanting to leave the floor if you can. Of course, Jess can't feel it because she's got sneakers on. But I can feel it. The floor is not wanting to let my feet go. But at the last minute, my heel just kind of peels itself. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice. And let's do the other side. Here we go. Nice. Here's something funny I just noticed. After all these years, you always notice something new. At the same time my front toe drops down just about, my fingers lift up. That's weird. It doesn't have to be that way. That's just something I noticed. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice. Let's do bass drum. Here, I'll face everybody here. So I'm going to mirror. Starting with the left leg out. Here we go. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice. And let's do the other side. And just notice how all of the moves, but especially the forward-backward moves, you haven't seen the side-to-side ones yet, have almost a rocking quality to them. This is another essential reason why Tai Chi is so good for your health. Because the minute the body begins to move in this very rhythmic and repetitive, almost rocking way, It regulates the central nervous system. Let's do one more. And whatever you do, none of you count, because I'm a bad counter. And I often do it wrong. But I'll tell you when we're about to do one more and we can pretend that that's 9, okay? Let's do daughter on the mountaintop. Last thing I want you to do is get pissed off if I screw it up, because then that'll cause you to think. Here we go. The hands come up as if they're going to clap, and at the last minute, they miss each other. If you want to get really precise about it, no matter which foot is sticking out, the left hand is the one that's closer to the face than the right. And remember, I'm mirroring. One more. Nice. Good. Other side. We switch feet, but we're not going to switch our hands. Okay, so the left hand is still the one that's closer to the face at the top. And the hands are in clapping position and shape. They're just a little bit past each other. If I had people on either side of me, it would be as if I'm saying hi to 2 people on the sides. Yeah. Or high-fiving 2 people on each side of me. One more. Let's call it 9. Nice. Daughter in the valley, beginning with your left foot out. So hands in the same place as they'd be for bass drum, only facing out. And here we go. The hands drop down to pretty much the same place they were at for bird flat to swing. Same place and position. And then they just rise together. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice. And on the other side. Here we go. In between each one of the moves, we actually come to full rest. Because when you're doing Tai Chi, this is actually a fairly essential difference between it and other Tai Chi practices. During the moving portions of each move, you're activating and circulating the energy that's always in your body more effectively. And then during the rest portions, you're letting all that energy you just kicked up settle down in the marrow of your bones, which of course is your immune system. And we're going to do one more. And literally ground yourself. Drop your attention to the soles of your feet. And sort of feel both your feet and your palms plugged into the earth for just a moment. Nice. Let's do carry the ball to the side. So I'm going to mirror to everyone. We're going to start by shifting the weight towards the right. We're going to turn the upper body to the right, and we're going to put the hands up on the right, kind of in the hole where the right shoulder used to be before you turned. And out will go the empty left heel. I'm going to move my chair. There we go. And then we're going to flow into the left leg and then back into the right. We're flowing completely, even though both feet are staying glued down. My weight is 100% over what looks like my right foot right now. And then on the left, this time we're going to rise up on the left. That's it. Let's do 2 more sets just like that. Nice. Nice. And 1 more set, moving from your right to your left. Boy, the floor is way colder over here. I'm feeling things I normally don't feel at all. It's so interesting. They say the Tai Chi really cranks your awareness up to much higher highs. I definitely am having heightened awareness of my feet today. Now let's flow from your left back to your right. 3 sets of 3. So here we go. Nice. Nice. And 1 more set. Feel your body resting, grounding. Drop your attention to the soles of your feet. Yeah. And let's do push-pull. So let's start with the left foot out. Here we go. Nice. One more. And with your right foot out. One more. Pulling in the energy with the left foot out first. Here we go. There's another move in which we utilize that invisible turkey serving platter, although our hands are under it right now. It's amazing how much more upright I feel when I let my eyes focus on something eye level in the distance. heightened awareness. Let's do one more. Yeah, here we go. With your right foot. Let's do one more. Nice. Okay, pulling tappy. Let's do one set just with one hand. Okay? So from here down, it's going to be exactly like carry the ball to the side. But, I'm just leave it at that. So here we go. We're going to shift to the right leg, your right leg. We're going to let the upper body turn to the right. And just noticing how the left shoulder kind of pops out when you do that. And we're going to just place the left arm here. And only then are we going to let the left heel kind of snake out to the side. And when we shift to the left, that's what's going to bring this hand across. And then once this leg is really full, we're going to stand up on it. Let's do it again, just one arm at a time. That's it. Nice. Now let's add the second arm. It just sort of sneaks up on top. Nice. Nice. And let's do one more set. Nice. Feel your body resting and drop your attention to the soles of your feet. Okay, I'm going to turn all the way around. So we're all going the same direction. And we're going to do first variation of pulling taffy. Many people call it anchor taffy. And it's going to be exactly the same as what we just did, only we're going to go forward at first and back and then to the side. So set the movement up the same way you ordinarily do, and then just flow forward, but keep your rear heel anchored down and come right back. Again. And, since your belly is turned, so is that front toe. So the front toe is almost like pigeon-toed here. Nice. I think this move goes right to the heart of how Tai Chi Chuan has nothing to do with martial arts, even soft martial. Because I'm pretty sure there ain't a Tai Chi practice in the world where the body goes forward in just this position, like so, but with an open hand. And back to the right. Let's do one more set here. I taught this move this morning to somebody I'd never met before, and she said, "It's like a rectangle, right?" And I thought for a minute, Yeah, absolutely. I always say it's like the cha-cha, but it is true. You're moving in a rectangular manner, very rectangular manner. Feel your body at rest and drop your attention to the soles of your feet. And let's do wrist circles tappy. So we're going to shift backwards and forwards very gently on the feet. In the end of the forward weight shift, we're going to let the knees lengthen. That's going to cause your whole body to feel like it's expanding and rising up. And we're going to let the fingertips just kind of mimic what the upper body is doing. So here we go. Let's do 2 sets of wrist circles. We're really tracing circles in the air with the fingertips. And then instead of a third one, you're just going to put the taffy together on the right and just pull it to the left. Let's do 2 more sets. And 1 more set. Nice. Feel your body coming back to 100% rest here. Just drop your attention to the soles of your feet. And let's do the third variation of pulling taffy. Many people call it perpetual motion taffy. It's just like regular taffy, only it's perpetual. And I'm going to mirror, okay? So we're going to start on everybody's right but mine. It's going to look like my right, okay? So here we go. There's a couple of tricks with this move. The first is that the shifting in one direction is the end of that weight shift, but it's the beginning of the next. So the minute the trailing foot just kind of leaves the ground for a second, it goes right back down and then you head that way. So that's trick number 1. Trick number 2 is somewhere in the middle, the hands just change places. So the hand that's on the top just slides down and under, and the hand that was on the bottom just slides up and over. Nice. And then trick number 3 is not just shifting your weight to one side, but actually turning your upper body so that all of your weight ends up over the filled up leg. And that's what actually enables the trailing foot to just levitate for a sec. You don't have to lift it up. Let's do 1 more set, and we're going to call it 9. It might be 9. And we're going to feel the body coming back to 100% rest here. Drop your attention to the soles of your feet. Very nice. You know why I keep saying that is because when you're thinking about your feet, energy follows thought. So you're pulling the energy out of your head as far away from your head as it can be and still be in your body. There's that. That's trick number 1. Trick number 2 is wherever your feet are is very present. Stuff that happened before isn't happening anymore, and stuff that may or may not happen in the future hasn't happened yet. So if you can let your thoughts be where your feet are, you're going to be in the moment. So that's why I keep telling you to bring your attention to the soles of your feet. Let's do working the pulley, which I think will be easier to understand and see if I turn around. Let's all move the same direction. So let your weight shift to the right. Extend your left knee, and so you're going to bend your left elbow. So the left hand is quite near your left shoulder, and just rotate your lower right arm. So your body is going to flow forward and back, but your upper body is also going to be turning from side to side. So this is sort of a hybrid move. And it may look a bit like swimming, but I want you to know it is absolutely unlike swimming in every essential way. First of all, it's way easier than swimming, if for no other reason that you don't need to worry about the drowning thing. But also because you're letting the turning of your body actually move your arms. You don't have to use any muscles at all to do this part. Let's do one more. Nice. Now, I'm going to turn sideways for the second part because I think that the online folks are going to be able to really see what's going on more easily if I do that. So we're going to do it with the right foot out now. So the right elbow is bent, the right hand's up here. The lower left arm is just rotated. Yeah. So again, see if you can, you guys online, see if you can see my upper body is going forward and back, but it's also turning from side to side. And the way you're going to know that is right now you're probably looking at my back, the writing on the back of my shirt. And now you're looking at the writing on the front of my shirt. Nice. And see if you can see the turning of my body actually pushing the left hand out and the right elbow back. And then the right hand out and the left elbow back. See if you can see that. There we go. We got it good. Let's do one more. No, you did good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. And let's do one more. I lied. I had a room full of newbies not long ago. I was doing a demo. And so we're going to do this, this, and this. And then at the last one I said, and now we're going to do this too. And one of them said, surprise! It's just funny the way you said it. Yeah, there's always surprises, right? There's always surprises. Life should be like that. Let's do light at the top of the head, light at the temple. So this one's super easy. We're going to let the energy come all the way up to the top of the head. And we're just going to let the whole body contract a little bit just by shifting backwards, and let the whole body expand just by shifting forwards. 2 more times. Here's the third one. Good. And then you're going to pull your own energy up and out of the top of your head and kind of mix it up with everybody else's. And we're going to hold. And then let's do 3 contractions and 3 expansions again. 2. And here's the third one. The hands are going to move in a big circle this time. And kind of fold the energy back in on yourself and fall right back down in complete rest. And let's do the second half of the same move. Here we go. Good. hold. Here's a big circle. Nice. And let's do joyous breaths. So you're going to step very lightly out with your left foot. And your feet are going to be in the same position they were in for the very first movement that we did. And we're going to exhale all the air out of the lungs, kind of like you're doing this, but with your lips closed. So you're going to hear it in the back of your throat and in your head more than if I were standing next to you. And we're going to do that while we're sinking down. So let's go ahead and start. Then inhale as you move forward. And turn your hands over, and we're going to use that special breath again, but in 4 sections this time. Good. 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 Bring your left foot back towards your right. Feel your body resting. Nice. And let's do passing clouds. So I'll mirror this one to everybody. So we're going to start by moving towards your left first. This is the only Tai Chi move that begins with a weight shift to the left. So let's go ahead and sink, shift, and turn the upper body to the left. And up goes the left hand like I'm going to, if I had a person over there, it's like I'm high-fiving that person. I'm just going to leave this guy in rest until I have something for it to do. And now the empty right heel is going to sneak out to the side. And as you shift to the right, it pulls this handle on. And let's pause right here when the hand gets up near the shoulder. Okay? So with this hand, all you got to do is kind of essentially let the fingers kind of face both out and down. So now the hand is kind of perpendicular to your leg. And when you head back towards your left, both the hands are going to come along for the ride. And over here, all you got to do is switch them. Yeah. Good. Good catch. You turned your toes out. So your feet are in the same exact position they'd be in if you were resting, only they're farther apart. And all the side-to-side moves, with the exception of perpetual motion tapping, or the moves in which you step to the left and then stand up. The feet stay glued to the ground. So that's kind of one big difference between the side-to-side moves and the forward and back moves. Nice. And we had a little extra time today, so I think we should do 2 sets of 9, don't you think? So this is the end of our first set of 9. And we're going to begin all over again. Here we go. Don't count though. I'll count. I'm still waiting till all of my weight just lands directly over the right foot and then the left. That's the same with all the side-to-side moves. Good, just wait for me. I'll come back to you. There we go. There we go. And let's do one more set. And there we go. Nice. Awesome. And let's do 6 healing sounds. I'm going to mirror that one to you also. It's sort of a conglomeration of all the moves all mushed up together. All right, so we're going to begin with the left hand and the left foot going forward first. Both hands now. And we're going to flow from the right to the left. Now right foot, right hand. I'm going to get a little bit more in the middle. And flow from the left to the right. Let's repeat that whole thing again. Good. This is the only other move in which the rear heel stays anchored down when you go forward. One more set here. Good. One more. Nice. Very nice. Let's do cosmic consciousness pose. I'm going to do this one, so I'm facing sideways to everybody. I don't know how to mirror it because it's the only thing in Tai Chi we do on one side, and so my body doesn't understand how to mirror this one. So here we are resting. And without shifting the weight, so first just notice how there's a little bend to both your knees right now. Leave that bend there, especially in the right way. Just pick your left heel up and shift it slightly and drop it down on your right ankle. So it's like you're kissing your right ankle. But there's still a 50-50 weight split in your legs. Okay? And then let your arms rise up so your forearms are about the height of your shoulders. And just the fingertips overlap, and the left hand is the one that's closer to your body. So it's the hand on the same side of the body as the sticking out knee. And just drop your gaze to something in the vicinity of the little goalpost your thumbs are making. And let's flow all the way back to rest. Drop your attention to the soles of your feet. Good. Now, while we're in this rest position, I'm going to grab my singing bowl here. And if you want to sit down, you're perfectly welcome to. I'm going to stay standing. My tailbone's ever so slightly tucked, though, so my lower half feels almost as supportive as a chair at this point. And because we talked about the soles of our feet so often in this class, go ahead and let your attention drop back down to the soles of your feet. One last time. I'm going to go ahead and use my singing bowl. Here we go. I'm calling the bell. Just let your mind's eye stay focused on the soles of your feet to the best of your ability. Not judging yourself if it does wander. Attention back to the room. And if your eyes were closed, now would be a good time to open them. That was really great. I'm going to sit back down. So, I have really paid attention to the soles of my feet today, way more than usual. And I felt things I normally don't feel. And people ask me all the time, do you ever get sick of teaching Tai Chi or doing Tai Chi? And the truth is I don't. Because every time I do it, you know, isn't it John Muir who said, you never step into the same stream twice? Same thing. There's always something new to notice when you're doing Tai Chi. And that actually, if you want to strip away all the trappings, all the popular sayings about mindfulness away, all mindfulness really is paying attention to something you normally don't pay attention to in the present moment and not judging yourself if your mind wanders. And isn't that exactly what we did today? So I'm glad you came to Tai Chi, an evidence-based moving mindfulness practice here on the Cancer Support Community Facebook live stream. And we'll be back in about 2 weeks-ish on the 3rd. Yeah, 2 weeks exactly, the 3rd Thursday of this month. And again, I'm Jessica Lewis, and the name of my company is Sculpt Your Life, and you can find me very easily. Just Google me. And we'll see you next time.